Hey friend, welcome to your November read. These are going to be time stamped in all signs. We are going to open up with the eclipse information, which is coming in November 7th through 8th, if you are showing up calendarically, depending on what place in the world you live at. Excuse me while I scratch my leg. Okay, I had some Halloween tricks. Some mosquitoes munch up on me the other night at a friend's Halloween bash. But enough of that being said, is we're going to do the eclipse, then we're going to get a general overview. So if you're just wanting that, you can tap in there. But also then we're going to have short little specifics going on for each of the signs. Again, they will be time stamps. So you can just click this little side arrow over here and it will, that will be over here on your side. And it's going to open up the description box and it will let you see which one they are there, and you just tap on it, the blue number, and it'll take you directly to it. Okay, Chiron is also showing up here because Chiron is part of the 13th constellation, the zodiac belt called a Fucus, and it's obvious he is bringing us this whole read, and it's how do we level up and move out of the ruts, routines, habits and patterns that we've been stuck in, maybe for millennia, maybe through our family's generational line, whatever else. So by the way, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. You might find this channel is a little bit different than some of the others because it's here to empower you to know what is your truth and what is not by bringing in resonance and confirmation. That simply means you're going to feel it on the inside. You're going to feel whatever is speaking to you. It's not so important what I am saying as it is what you are hearing and what you're receiving inside your soul. Okay? So let's get an affirmation card for the month of November for people at Joy to the World. Hopping on the joy train. I see you. Nope, you're stuck. No stickiness here. We're being very clear. Very clear. Give us, okay. Well, all right. So we have a tandem message. Left foot, right foot. Taking us forward. So let's see. They're wanting us to have the whole picture. All right, this is showing up because we will have just completed 2 years past the blue moon that occurred on Halloween 2020. And they're wanting us to move forward into newness rather than repeating the old and regurgitating the old and living in those entrapments and not having any fruit, justice, or rewards. So I'm excited. I like that message. Straight up, give it a thumbs right now if that resonates with you. So all is well in my body and mind. I have the courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. So this is adopting that, taking up that courage, and the courage is for change. And the change is believing, putting your attention and energy towards what this card is saying right here. All is well in my body and mind. So when things come in to disrupt or disturb you or make you feel like, oh my God, here we go again. Oh, that person's going to treat me like so-and-so has, or gosh, will I ever figure this out? Am I forever a failure? Or, whatever it is. And those samskara, those ruts, those routines, they're wanting you to begin to believe differently, to see and to envision what is truly there spiritually or cosmically, and to bring it into this earthen realm. That's a vote for you. So I'm going to put these up here. We'll tuck them in. We're going to separate them, put them on either side. Okay. We're going to put them on either side of the picture. Let me get this situated, y'all. All right. And then our central cards that are kicking this whole thing off for the whole month. Look at this. This is like new sight, fresh new sight. Look at the luminosity of your iris, the colors coming in, the full embodiment. I like that. It goes really well with all is well in my body and my mind. By clearing the eye, by clearing the lenses, by clearing the vision, you will alter the provision, okay? What goes before you and sets the path. Now, whoever that is, it's thinking, I don't know, my nose is itching, so it is you. Dolphin is coming in with the energy to help us live joyfully in the present. Look at that cosmic energy funneling in through your heart, because our heart is where we are truly meant to see. That's why the Three of Swords can be so impactful and powerful and difficult to overcome. So if you've had some deep-seated wounds and deep-seated wounds going in, we're just extricating those right now. We're lifting them up and out. We're giving them to life, to abound in the true justice, the thing that doesn't eat up any more of our time or energy, and allowing nature to take its course there so that we can begin to live. Okay, I see you. Yes, and I'm talking to myself too, y'all, because I sit on the other side of the lens, but to bring in the true change. So it says expect powerful change, the new moon eclipse. So let's get into that eclipse energy. What is the eclipse bringing us? I see you. Ah, some heart healing. Look at this. It's all coming together, y'all, because when the messages begin to harness themselves into one recipe, miracles abound, and rose quartz is the definitive healer of that heart energy. It sets it right cosmically and earthenly, so that you're not having to sit here and babysit it and remind life and justice or your spirit or your guides, here's what I need, here's what I need. They're saying you have been heard. You have been received. That is what this is about. And get ready for your Jubilee. That's what Chiron's saying in the midst of this, okay? So let's get into the eclipse energy. I want to see the bigger picture. Oh, underneath we got the Beauty Way Dragonfly Collective, y'all. They see with 30,000 lenses on their eye. They're saying we got all your bases covered. Don't you worry. We're watching out for you. And now they have a unique navigation system out of the whole, I don't know, plant, animal, insect kingdom and everything. I saw the coolest documentary, and they were talking about that they have nearly 100% accuracy in obtaining their food. Okay, so it would mean top of the chain, top of the line. And this isn't preying or predating on each other. That's keeping the balance in life. But they almost use their mind force to communicate to the insect. They decipher the pattern of where it's going to fly. Then they move ahead to that placement and receive it when it comes. Okay, so we're talking about the fruit in our life, the provision that's coming from the roots of what all we've sown. That's why they've cleared the heart to start out. That's why rose quartz came in to dislodge any of those once bitten, twice shy, the Three of Swords sitting in, even some of the Four of Swords, because the, was it the Spectacular Special that was showing the hedgehog harboring in and hunkering down, holding that fourth sword. So still nursing the wound of the Three of Swords, okay? Three of Swords is that deep heart wound, and it can often come from karmic chakra interruption. So family lineage distorting your natural inheritance, your DNA. Okay, that's what I hear them saying. So we have the sweat lodge and the curse. They're saying no more about the sweat of your brow or having to speak it out and speak it out until you are heard ad infinitum. We have a new energy. Oh, good Lord, it jumped on out. Y'all, I didn't even see that. Oh my gosh. Medicine wheel in the gathering. They're saying, just let it fall in your lap. Let it fall in your lap. That's what dragonfly energy is bringing you in the beauty way. The beautiful way is letting it come to you, allowing it to come to you. And I love that the rune is sitting up here and it says it's unknowable. That is the Odin stone when he hung himself on the tree upside down to get the wisdom of heaven here on earth. It's talking about it's unknown, but it is knowable. It is knowable. They're saying wait and see. That's why they're wanting you to go ahead and shift your beliefs. Taking that courage to change so that you can begin to allow your imagination to work again. It has been bound up in this heart chakra energy going on. Can you see these patterns and these rhythms talking to each other? That's why dolphin spirit has come in to help you, because they are mammals of the sea. They navigate the water. Oh yeah, that's what they were telling me, y'all. Because it's interesting, their words for each of the sign in Ontario came in for Sagittarius, and it's the sparkling water. It's talking about it's 20% of the area of Ontario itself. But they want me to let you know November has a lot of love to give. Let it, if we let it. If we let it. November has a lot of love to give if we let it. I want to let it. Do you want to let it? Let's let it. Let's let what? Let's taste the rainbow like some Skittles. They're talking about these little bitty things, these sprinklings and these little joys that abound because they begin to add up, almost like the ball pit or like, you know, Willy Wonka, where they just tap the tree and it all falls. Just one little motion, one little action, and the bounty is coming forth on you, opening the windows of heaven. I absolutely love that. So we're going to get a couple of cards about the eclipse energy going on for all of us, and also threading into some of the general read. I have a feeling they're just going to bleed into each other. I feel you right there. Okay. So this one's wanting to speak alongside rose quartz, King of Pentacles. Look at that. Okay, because see, your wealth is coming forward from your heart. Look at this, right under dolphin energy. Look at that. That is why your heart is being healed, because that is where your wealth, your life, your wellspring springs forward from. So trusting life to get justice in the areas where you've been wronged or you've been hard. Don't spend any more time on payback or even trying to balance the scales or doing that type of forgiveness. They're talking about more of an absolution of not saying these things aren't worth getting justice for. It's saying they're so worthy of bringing balance that I'm going to give it into the hands of life, into something, the greater energy to take care of it, everlasting energy. The symbolic death, the contrast, the fears, the potential, and the possibilities. So they're found in there together, and that unbinds you from that contract covenant of being able to get it right. They're not wanting you to get it right. They're wanting you to let it in. Look at this city on the hill. That hill is your head, your crown, your glory. I absolutely love that. You might want to check out the Magic Monday if you're showing up calendarically, because it's talking about the abundance of glory that you have and how do we turn those mindsets. So that might be a place where you can go back and check out how to begin to restore your imagination and your mind. Okay. So the King of Pentacles is coming in with that rose quartz, and that is why. It's a sunny disposition, no longer having to say a this or a that to feel loved or unloved. No, it's embracing the wealth of who you are, which includes love, includes your happiness, includes your wholeness and your health. They are all one unit. They come together as a package deal. And she's like, isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? Now the rainbow, the other card is coming on in. Oh, this was in the pre-shuffle. They're like, oh, it's gonna be so good. That's why they were telling me that there's an abundance of love that November wants to shower upon you, especially through this eclipse that we're going through. Is that's almost like the transfer point. Not just when it happens, because there are those that we go ahead and load up on the ride because we know it's coming. So this Nine of Cups coming on in, it's like, cool your jets. Not having to slow down. This like means you got a lot going on. Look at all this heat. Look at all this bounty. Look at all this juiciness. You're like, I don't know if I can handle how awesome I am. You know, some of that is the trepidation that you've been biting or feeling underneath the surface. And it was easier because it felt uneasy or uncomfortable to keep pointing it towards where you need justice or where you want help or where life should step in and here's how it should be done and this and that and whatever. And they're saying, do you make the flowers bloom? Do you make the petals unfurl? You do not. You get to witness them. You get to smell them. You get to wear them. In this case, you get to put them around your house. You get to enjoy them and gaze upon them. Well, so does life with you. Life is even more attentive to all that you care about and all the beauty in your life than you are to yourself, okay? So they're saying, give us a chance. And with that, Chiron's moving right overhead. And so I can feel you. We're beginning to move out of the ruts and the routines where we keep going around the zodiac trying to figure out something that's unfigureoutable. It's a belt. It's a belt that holds your draws up, okay? We're the whole universe. We want to wonkavate. We want to imagine. We want to explore all of ourselves and be in the creatorship, not limited, not subject, okay, but liberated. All right, so I'm going to get a little bit of the vice versa tarot. Ooh, who coming off here? Lovers, and it's coming in the sunshine, in the light of day, acknowledgement of what is there. No more being shadowed or ghosted or that leveraging. Whew. Okay, you needed to hear that. Whoever is wondering, it is you. It is true. Whew, that's high vibration. Let them usher this in. This is the love coming on in, the permeation coming on in. It's like, it's reminding me of when you want artisan baked bread. They have these very expensive ovens that there's room for everything to get the proper love and attention that it needs. So it's talking about room in your relationship. This isn't codependency. This isn't attachment or detachment or any of that. This is communion. This is choosing to walk together. This is a being of one mind and one heart, not one sacrificing the other. It's that unionizing that we're talking about, kind of like all these coming together. What into your hand, baby? That is right. Ooh, and I love it because you be scripting it out. Your life lessons, you extracted it from the mouth of the lion. You're like, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. I'm not intimidated anymore by what I've been through. I'm not shame. And they're saying it like this. I'm not shame. I'm not holding my head down. I'm not overburdened and underjoyed and weighted down by the cares of the world, that oppression. No, 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 no. It has been lifted. And I love that because who's that coming in with? That's coming in with Chiron. Chiron is bringing in this angel help. So anyways, back to that oven, the bread, it gets steam injected right in the beginning because that little bit of steam coming in causes it to have one big last rise to really fill itself out to perfection. And it seals at the crust so that then the heat can penetrate inside and create this perfect balance of soft and tender and crisp and crusty. Now, it's not just for a flavor profile or for delightfulness. It's perfection in all ways because it causes the bread to last longer. It's like chocolate that is tempered. It creates a cure. So if you've been ill, if you've been tired, if you've been sick and tired, if you've been jaundiced, if you've been put out, if you've been heartbroken and all that, this is the cure. I absolutely love it. Let love in November. If I can encourage you, woo, woo. Because remember, I'm talking to myself because I sit on the other side as well. We're going to pull those life lessons on out of there because we ain't scared. Not even just of that lion, because when we can stand up to this, we can stand up to that thing inside of us that makes us feel trepidatious or whatever. And we're like, no, I see and I want my inheritance, my beauty, my delight, my wealth, my health, my abundance. Because wealth is the profusion of life and life's full expression in you. It can be opportunity and money and healthy friendships and happy family and a healthy body and a healthy mind. Balance, 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 balance. That's the type of energy that we're talking about. And that sends these scurvy muggers fleeing. It's like, I'm not scared of you. And then all of a sudden when they realize you're not scared, they become this sheepish, like that whole disguise just drops down. And they're just like this little something like with a little shrinky dinky voice. And you're like, oh, okay, well, you're not scary at all. And it's like, no, I was just doing that because people were always scared of me. And like, I didn't know what to do. So I just acted like that. So it's things, you're going to be living in the light of truth. So things can't continue to intimidate you. Boop. Okay. So let me see where we're at. That's the eclipse. We're going to move on 1745. And we're going to move into a little bit of general rather than picking these up. I'm going to fill in a little bit. So let's get some more specific. So this is all that eclipse energy, which is kind of like a wave of a wand, like whoom, whoom, and it passes over. And when it does, it's like going through the scan gate at the airport. It lets you into the other side. So now a little bit of general information on this. They're wanting to go to a different set of cards. What is on the bottom? I love you, I love you, I love you. So what might have looked like a storm is really a love buzz going on around you. It's coming on down. Life is celebrating. It's pouring forth its heart chakra to you, its investment into you, because olive makes oil through the pressing and the squeezing. And it's like, let me be pressed, let me be squeezed. I don't want you depressed or oppressed any longer. Ooh, that's delicious for the general read, because it's talking about the theme for the general read is heart new birth. No more oppression, no more depression, no more repression. I am loving that. Okay, so that's coming in with the spiral. Let's see any more about this wealth and abundance coming on in. Owning our heart, the state of our heart, right? Knowing that we're glorious, we are wealthy, we are divine. I see you. And the Nine of Cups. Favor is on you. I mean, it's kind of like, say it's in a grocery store or at a pumpkin patch, okay? And a little child says, Mama, there could be 50 moms around and only one or two are going to turn because that child's voice sounds oh so familiar. That's what it is. When you get into the truth of who you are and you begin to live here because you took the courage, the heart, right? To find out what this is all about, to no longer be afraid by things we've been taught to be afraid of. The unknown, it's knowable, it's you, it's in you, it's discoverable. That's fantastic. That's when all this starts to cut on and we can begin to breathe again and feel at ease in our lives instead of that dis-ease. That's why this anointance here is squeezing out, is going, no more of the pressing. We have got you covered there. We've got you covered on all sides. It's kind of like the cell wall that helps protect the cell. It lets in things that bring life and it lets out the things that are waste product, all right? So whatever is there for you, kind of like your digestive tract, to feed, nurture, and nourish you, that anything left over is scrap. It goes on out and it bounces out outside there. Okay. I'm going to see if there's any more tarot to go. Yes, there is, to go with the general. And at the split, that's with the moon. Beginning to be known, having companionship, healthy, faithful companionship is what they're talking about. Oh, I love it. The Nine of Pentacles, developing a healthy relationship with spirit, with heaven, with God, with your angels, with yourself, whatever those terms are that make you feel connected and divine. All right, that's what has come in here for you. And they're talking about, who is the oracle? Who is that? Let me see. Aurelia. This is bringing in a little bit of Gemini energy, because whether you're Gemini sun or not, you might want to tune into that as well if you find your ears buzzing, because they have a lot to tell you. And there's not going to be the oppression or the pressing in anymore. Remember, the olive spirit's bringing this in. Look at that strength on your neck of 1,000 shields. That's why it's there. It's all the stories and the truths that are inherent to who you are. And I'm talking because I'm liking it because they're talking about inheritance. Remember those ruts and the things, letting this rainbow life come and find you and chase you down. Ooh, I love it. That's some Mercury going on in there. Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And we right on Earth. Earth is the rainbow. Getting in harmony and unison, y'all, that is a lot of power. So they're saying don't be dismayed by things that might try and poke their head and make you scared or intimidated. Remember who you are. And remember that this is really the only thing you have to conquer here. Okay, diving on in. So let me see, 22, 23. We're going to step into Scorpio now. 22, 23. And Scorpio, your word for November is receptive. So let me get these tossed aside, and then we're going to see where we're going from there. Hey, I'm glad you're here. It's nice to have you stopping by. You know what? I think I am going to leave them. I am going to leave them. So I'm going to toss these, and then I'll get to clean them up when we are done. Somebody went into hiding. There we are. That angel information. So Scorpio, with you being receptive, let's see about being receptive to joyfulness, being receptive to this pure, perfect moment of the now. Again, since this is unearthing and dislodging deep heartbreak, deep disappointment, maybe even feeling sabotaged or abused or used in your life. The dolphin is coming in to bring that joyful energy and bring you into the present where joy and now fit together for you. Okay, that it's not having to pretend or fake it till you make it, any of that. It's legit letting it 100% in. Okay. You're wanting a lot of help, but you can't seem to make up your mind. Purple or green, head over heart, heart over head. Then you know what? We're going to go with the clarity instead. All three of these came out together, and that's the thing. It's like wanting to fill the hole, wanting to see and to know before you go. It's like, I'll believe it when I see it, that type of energy going on. And then justifications, reasoning, defenses, excuses, whether yours or someone else, whether they were planted on you and you don't even know that that's what it was. That's why we're going to choose to champion the clear quartz for you. Now, y'all, these are energy sessions. That's what makes them so different than other tarot or oracle readings that you tune into. Because as I'm reading and doing this, I am an energy worker. We're going ahead and adjusting it. We're adjusting into your truth, that what you would choose if you could get yourself in that state now. So that clear quartz is standing along with the spiral. And we're going to see about this powerful change coming in and how to live joyfully in the present. Ooh, You going on a journey, going on an adventure in any which way the wind blows. And there's more going on here than you know. It's all the angles, all the directions. And the most important direction right now is up and over. Okay, so we're talking about moving over your own dead body. Maybe something was so rough, so I can feel you right there, so tough that you held your breath, or that you dug your heels in, or that you held on, or that you let go, or that you climbed under the sheets, any of those things that you know, it's so pressing and invasive that it's just a scream of wanting to escape. All right, although you still desire the dream. So this is taking you up and over your own dead body. Was like, I will over your dead body, over my dead body, whatever. And they're like, it's time to drop it and shed so that we can lift you up and out, up and out. So let's get a little bit, the other card's hiding for right now. I will know when you will know. Okay. Up and out. No matter how much I tried to lift the deck, this is what remained. Up and out. It's kind of like this interesting little paddle ball game. I don't know if y'all remember those from when you were kids, because I mean, they used to make them when I was a kid. And it's a little wooden paddle shaped like that, and there's a elastic string and a ball, and you're just supposed to whack it. And me having a brother, he would often come near and just be whacking me, right? But it's about trying to get this to fit through there, because that's as far as your knowledge, your revelation. See this eye going on here? That's all you've known to do, because that's all you've been shown to do in the earthen realm. But what I like is look behind here. This is more than just an earthen emperor. This is a kingdom of heaven coming to earth, which is what is tuning in right here. It's the break of day beginning to happen. So there's going to be some enlightenment on this. Let's get a little bit more. I know what I want. We're going to get one of these. Manifesting dreams. Okay, so you're like, how do I make my dreams come true? It's interesting because the promise is something in you is very certain and knows, but you're like, I know, but I don't know how. I know and I believe, even though I haven't seen and tasted. And that's why part of you has been like, I'll believe it when I see it, because you've been dried up waiting so long trying to know what so many of us already know. Talking about being in your hands. Interesting. Sorry about that. We shaking it up around here. Shake it. There we go again. I just keep going. If you see my head doing that, it's because I'm watching my camera shake. All right. Bobblehead joy. Wouldn't you put one on the dash of your car? You would have such a good time, especially if you could press a button like this, y'all. And I would say, that was easy. That was easy. And you'd be like, yep, straight up. Okay. So anyways, it's not the tools that are in your hands. It is your hands. Your hands are the tools. Your hands are the tools. These were things that were handed to you, telling you that if you get this threaded through that, then you'll get the such and so. And they're like, there are no conditions. You are already conditioned to be a magician, to be a miracle maker, to be a dream fulfiller, a creator. Oh, I hope that's enlightenment on your crown. And your word, remember, is receptive. I hope you're receptive to that. So now we're going over here under the spiral. But what's wild, they're wanting me to keep that tarot card down and get in here for just a minute. We're clarifying before we're even clear, before we even see. I saw y'all two turn and then this. All right. So this was the one peeking out from behind. All right, so we have the bit of temperance going on here. Look at those red wings. Merkaba. Understanding yourself. The tools have been hindering you for some time because you're trying to work with them, thinking that they make the magic when you are the magic. Do you see the candle lighting up back here? Yeah. You are the magic. And that's what brings it in, is to begin to recognize that it's the meditation. I'm looking at the card, y'all. It's the meditation that brings about the life and that puts heaven under your feet, which is knowledge to you. And when that knowledge is there for you, it gives you a sure foundation upon which to stand. It's confidence. Confidence is key. And they're talking about chi, ki. That's what's going on in your hands, and it creates this circuit. Your confidence. is your key. And wherever your confidence goes, that's where the winds of change take you. If you didn't, you might check out the general and the eclipse, because they were talking about that strength and that power and that courage. Ooh, it melts right on in here. Okay. So with that, we have the Tower coming on in, and this is showing up as justice. All right. It is the Knight of Swords, but it is the full plasma power connection, channeling plasma. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. It is where expansion and contraction come together, just like that Saturn-Jupiter conjunction that occurred in December of 2020. That's when things began to change, and our whole earth and our world is moving into a whole new system, from things that were earthen and storefronts and lots of physical products to like intangibles, like virtual properties and things like that. Okay. And that might be a bit mind-boggling at the moment, is how does this play in? But I think that's when this tarot card is going to come. Let us see, because there's another eyeball. They're giving you introspection. They're giving you great instincts, and they're honing them, which is why they really wanted to clear that thing of I'll believe it when I see it, because that was like a spur, like a splinter in your heart. And it was inhibiting you because it was inhabiting you. As long as that splinter is there, it hurts and it irritates and it drives itself deeper. And they're wanting to lift it up and out. That the splinter is the tower. It was something terrible that happened in your life that brought you to your knees, that stopped you in your tracks altogether. Life sees and life knows and life loves you, and it's ready to get the fugmuggery out of your mind that has been causing this devastation. Some of you is Scorpio energy, and I'm not talking about Scorpios. We're the whole zodiac, y'all. I'm talking about some of the energy that can get there when it gets malefic. It's that the fire water going on. It's the venom. It's the poison. And it's a bit of like some self-hatred, some loathing, some anger towards others. It cuts both ways, is what they're saying. And that's what this is here to do, to seal, to heal. It's kind of like the magic sword that it, like Excalibur, when it's pulled from the stone is when it became powerful. This begins to bring life when it is inserted into the wound. It's like it cauterizes it and it allows it to begin to heal. It begins to heal because this is the sword of truth. It's the sword of many waters. It's the sword of all life. The pure cleansing water, because it's coming from a pure source. One that won't trip you up. It's guaranteed, it's assured that you'll be able to move quickly in it. All right, Scorpio. We're going to wrap this up with the Nine of Swords. All eyes are on you. So we're talking about that, restoring all of your eyes. Your captivating essence, your captivating energy, but not one that feels like it has to use or be used, to utilize or be utilized. That tools, trinkets, treasures, any of that, it has to do with the genuineness of who you are. Waking up feeling excited, feeling happy, feeling empowered, feeling inspired. That's what they're talking about for you, Scorpio. Being receptive to that. So just know I love you. I believe in you. Thank you for showing up here. All right, 3308. We are stepping into Chiron now, because Chiron is for all of us. It is Ophiuchus, but he is the one that gets us off the wheel, off the merry-go-round and into the universe. That's why it is important. Okay, so Chiron, bring in your fire. Bringing in your fire. And this is like the dragon's crystal ball, but at the base of it is an elephant. The thing that captures the fire is the trunk. It's big enough to circle it up. They're talking about the nose. Being in the know. Well, Chiron, what do we need to be in the know about? Let's get a little tea leaf. Ooh, at the bottom, we got the rainbow. Cha-chow. And we got the firecracker excitement. To be in the know about the exciting things that are to come. Okay. Okay, let's get into these. What is coming? Ooh, heaven to earth. Seeds, stars, and star showers. All right, the nose, y'all, is 19. It's full circle, full completion. Let me just cleanse with a deep breath. So Chiron's word is the angels. Angels are messengers. Angels are messages. Angels are lenses and mindsets through which we see to help us assist. Like Say something's far away and you wanted to observe a star, you would use a telescope. Well, boom, they're a telescope. Say something's so small and you need to see it, boom, they're a microscope. There are all these scopes and these lenses with which to help you see what your pure, perfect passion is and what you came to life for. Now, number one is to enjoy yourself and to live. But what are those facets and nuances that bring you joy? Okay, so the truth, look at that life is not a game. It is not a game, but it is something you can count on. You're talking about universal truth here, not just personal. And the first universal truth is love. Love is pure. All right. We can't adjust it or qualify it or quantify it or anything like that. Because if you're having to adjust, then that's not love. Okay, so things going on around you, they're not saying, okay, now base your decisions off of the injustice going on. They're saying, no, just be clear in your mind that that is not just, and therefore that is not love. And it's like, I'm not going to receive that. You're not going to receive the poison or those rough edges or broken bits entering into your space, because it traumatizes the flesh. So that's going under the rainbow that says the most difficult part of a situation is over. Now you know. When you know better, you can do better, okay? But when you didn't know, how could you know what you don't know until you know it? So give yourself a little grace, a little bit of peace about that, some closure. So then you can move into completion and wholeness. I love it because there's so much more. Look at this going on around here. Ooh, we're talking about this whole area opening up and the intense pressure. Intense pressure, all eyes on you in the center, in your sun, to be sunny, shiny, joyful, cheerful all the time. Well, that's not the hee joy that we're talking about. Sometimes it's the working through the process to get to it. Sometimes it's the stepping over the old dead body because it was wanting to hang around and make sure you got the justice you deserved, okay? So let's see. It's wanting to get a new affirmation card, a focus about this intense pressure. Okay, so help us shift our focus here into, since the most difficult part of the situation is over, help us set our sights to where we're going instead of where we've been stuck or where we've been. All right, let's relieve that pressure with some forward movement, some motion. It brings dimension. It keeps it from being all flat and shortened, foreshortened circle, where things look distorted and off. This is how. So Chiron is sending in the message that I will celebrate my small wins. Basically, choice. I choose to celebrate my small wins, that relieves the pressure. Just like, could you imagine if we had to take one breath of air to last the whole day? Pressure, right? And they're going to talk about the in and the out, the ebb and the flow, the one step at a time, the this piece, then that piece. Now you can make big plans and big portions, but you take it in one bite at a time. A lot can be accomplished in one day when we take it piece by piece, step by step first, and then the next will come, and then the next will come, all right? They're talking about there being a divine order, a step, a music, a measure. So that's it, the chop, the putting it into pieces. Some of it is neat and tidy. Maybe setting up intentions or categories for your day or categories for your week. Like, I do massage therapy, I do energy work, I do energy readings for people, and I do tarot readings, I imbibe with nature, I make jewelry, I'm doing all those sorts of things. And so for me, one day might be a jewelry day, or half of this day might be jewelry day, half the day might be going out in nature, which is where my inspiration comes from. And then the next day might be all reading. So they're saying, organize it, set it up into clean, clear cut pieces. Now, when my kids were little, I used to tell them, timer says it's bedtime. So Mom wasn't the bad guy, and it wasn't to get it off of me. It's so that when they were out on their own, they would be aware of their connection to time as opposed to their connection to Mom. That was facilitated through other means, right? So setting these time boundaries and these segments and things help it stay breathable. And you might think, well, I didn't get finished or I didn't get done. But you know, when you set that and you've internalized it and you've planned it, you've chosen and set that aside, that it will begin to tidy itself up and fit in there. And you're going to feel the resolution. You're going to feel the inspiration and the conclusion. Okay. Now with that, we've got new beginnings coming on in. Look at all that happiness. So more than just the rain, this is all the waters bringing in the love. To know that you are loved, that it's not based on whether it rained or didn't rain, whether it came through or didn't come through. It's knowing that your love is sprinkling the earth. And that's that force that drives open the immovable mountain. This brings forth the power of life to exact the justice necessary. Okay. Remember all this fire coming in? That's a power, a dynamite, a dunamis, a big power that comes from getting through to the other side, the both sides, okay? And the chalk block, this is upside down because apparently there's a bit of block towards heaven. So with that, we're going to get the vice versa. What is this block with heaven and how do we move the chalk block? The rainbow. Hang on, y'all. I see it. All right, so we're going to step into this instead. Orange, nurture yourself. All right, because life can't love on you more than you love on yourself. Those acts of love and nourishing and nurturing to yourself are the invitations to life to step in. It's when you're giving your permission that it's able to come about. And how do you give your permission? Our truth is not what flaps out of our lips. It's everywhere we take ourselves. It is emanating and exuding, and it's declaring loudly, vibrationally to life. Here is what I would like. So when you go out to refresh yourself, then you're telling life, refresh me, and that's when this energy comes on in. Look at that. See, this is what is coming out of you, but this is what is coming in you. Life is for you. Who could be against you? What could be against you? None. Rose. Attract a relationship. That begins to build the connection, the trust with it. So maybe you had untrustworthy relationships or connections in your life with humans or through these playing out of different situations, and you didn't know what else to do or how to navigate it. All right, that's why Chiron shows up. You might check out some of the Chiron reads at the channel. The Chiron's showing up in all the monthly reads, okay? So anyways, here's to the truth. Getting things organized, letting the light in, letting the love in, because love is light and light is love. All right, friends. So let's see where we're at. 4201. We're stepping into Sagittarius now. And Sagittarius, your word is Ontario. I found that quite unique. And I had to look it up because Ontario means sparkling water. It comes from the Iroquois word Canadario. And it's because Ontario is 20% water. 20% water. So they're talking about a bit of an investment. Okay, so for Sagittarius, tell us what's going on in November. Especially if you didn't tune in at the beginning, the big thing going on through November is it has a lot of love to give if we let it. So this love is some water. Water can have to do with relationships. Water can also have to do with bounty. It can have to do with fruitfulness, because think about it. Plants need water to bear fruit, to bear them flowers. So we have Judgment and the High Priestess. Clearing out the balance of the scales. They're talking about a little bit of a peep show, a little bit of a preview of coming attractions. Okay. Well, to get a little preview of coming attractions, we're going to set this aside. And I don't know who it is, but there is a huge heat wave pushing through here. It's pretty intense since that Chiron part. So the preview of the coming attractions, some of you are wanting to know in this High Priestess what ships are coming in, what magic that you have stirred up is coming in. You've been seeking, you've been waiting, but you've been kind of reluctant to fully open up to it. You are open and you're stepping forward, but it's still like only partially known. Like you believe, but there's still a bit of reservation going on, and you're saying, well, what about the waters? What about if it's choppy? What if I didn't say it right? What if this, what? And they're like, shh. Your ship is coming in. This is you doing some return to yourself, your voice becoming true, your truth returning, so much so that as you live and go about, even when you choose to speak, it rings clear as a bell. It is authentic, and therefore it is authenticated. And in that, the signature signs. That means the checks be coming in. Some of you by Christmas, because I'm hearing check it once, check it twice, and then let it be. It's coming to you. What? The child. Maybe some of you have lost a child. Maybe some of you have dreamt of a child. Maybe some of you didn't get to have a childhood because of how you grew up. And that's where a little bit of this reservation or trepidation is lodged in. Wondering, is life going to be good to me? Will it be fun? Will I get to enjoy it? Because if you had to be an adult child for whatever reason in your home, it stunts the growth of that area. But they're saying it can grow. We're just wanting to develop it because it's really the development that has been lacking. And that's why it's requiring of the trust. Because the moment you let your whole mind, not partial, your whole mind come forward and just be honest with yourself. I'm a little nervous that maybe I didn't do this right or this or that or whatever, but then come through, with your affirmation or your motto to support a new experience coming in. That's what this announcement is. Clear judgment. Not this old justice and the judging judgment that says it's conditional and that type of thing. They're sticking. So I am open to receive. I will not worry about things that I can't control. Worry, definitely. So worry is part of what's diminishing your mind. It's clouding part of it. It's like an eclipse that doesn't move. And if you've been kind of like spiritually engaged when you go through eclipses, you recognize some of the disturbance of the force that goes on when they're occurring. Which one's occurring this month if you're showing up calendarically. But it's about new beginnings, new birth, new life, and that requires the breath and the trust. I mean, babies come in and they cry some and they kick some and they need some help some and all that. And it's saying, oh, there we are right on top. I am in perfect balance. I literally see the words, I am in perfect peace. Perfect peace. And they're saying P-E-A-C-E and P-I-E-C-E. You are whole. And you're safe to express those feelings to yourself. Now, that part about the control is you may not know what to do about those feelings, but just admitting them and acknowledging them to yourself and saying, okay, I understand that you're scared. Let's just breathe right now and let's see where it goes. All right. Life keeps telling me it wants to work out for me. And so if life is for me, who can be against me? Why should I be against me? Let me move out of my own way and let's let this come on in. So that's some of what's going on here with the High Priestess. Okay. So these many waters, let me get one for Under the Judgment since you're wanting a preview of the coming attractions. I'm going to see what you're drawing in. Meandering pathway and flow. Now, the neat thing about following a pathway is it is straight. If you're always paying attention, you can look ahead and see it weaving and moving, but your feet are always straight on the path. It's right in front of you. The next step is all that's required. So you might see a lot of weaving and moving in other objects, like say they're mountains or trees or whatever else. And you're like, well, what about that? What about that? They're just saying, hey, that's what she's driving it towards the feet, towards the feet. Because where the head goes, the body will follow. And that's how you're getting off track. So more than a preview, this is a review. And that's where the city now shows up. It's more than just what you see here. There's this bit that's been obscured. There's so much more wanting to come in for you. One step is enough. One day at a time. Okay? So just keep your eyes down, but keep your, your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. That's what this meandering pathway and flow is. And that brings in the Merlin energy. That is the one that makes the true magic. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. And remember to breathe. Okay, so let's step into Capricorn at 4844. Capricorn, your word for this month is justice. And that's interesting. I'd like to see how this is going to play out. Very specific. Very specific. So let's get into Capricorn for November and this justice. Okay. About November having a lot of love to give if we let it. So what are we letting? What are we allowing in November as Capricorn? Okay. First is Ten of Swords. All this scrutiny, all this penning, all these opinions. What is your opinion? That's what has you down. seeking out the opinions of others, maybe waiting for the approval of others, wanting the camaraderie, the companionship, the community, the communion. When they're talking about your crown is divine. Let's get a little bit more on this before we move on. What about these opinions? Because see, the light, the thing that's overtaking me is this light just off your shoulder. Just off your shoulder. Do you notice your head and your body aren't in the same plane? That's what's happened is you stop to consider. You're carrying the weight of other people's opinions. You're taking it into consideration. Like I say, OPP, other people's opinions, like claws. That's why I call them pinions. They're like clamping in on your mind. And the only time a bird of prey clamps on something is when you're the prey. And they're saying instead of P-R-E-Y, P-R-A-Y, talk to yourself first. Because when we're praying, we're really talking to ourselves. We're getting in communion with divine, with the greater part of ourselves, with the bigger overview, the bigger picture. And that keeps you looking forward, going in the same direction as your body. So some of you may want to check out Sagittarius because it was talking about the issues, the disconnect that causes the path to keep meandering and getting off track is letting the head or the mind wander or worry about the road up ahead instead of being aware that it's there, but taking kindly the step that's right in front of you, okay? So how does Cappy face the future? Face in the future because it's obviously bright. It is obviously bright. Look at that. Oh, look at your horse. You ain't scared of no death. Because the devil's your card, right? You're like, death ain't nothing. Look at the fire eyes coming out of that horse. That's the power. The envision is what they're talking about. That is your power, envisioning. What are you envisioning for yourself, Capricorn? I'm going to take a sip while you think about that. What life are you envisioning for yourself? You need no one's approval. This is not the power of majority. That's the neat thing about divinity, spirit, life. The dolphins are like, we vote for you. We vote for you. They're going, this power votes for you. The new moon is voting for you, okay? The perspective of heaven is voting for you. That is a majority. That is a majority, okay? So they're saying just let it roll. Let those things, if people choose to interject or to correct or to want to jump on the bandwagon of beating it down that you have your head in the clouds or high ideals or what makes you think you're so suchy much or that all this great stuff or you're so special and da-da-da. Just be like, and let it roll off and out. Because if you watched in the beginning, the general and the eclipse part, all is well in my body and my mind and therefore your soul. That's where this blossoming abundance is coming from. That's where this passion and empowerment is coming from. And it leads and guides you on your way. Rain or shine, night or day. That's the thing. You have no hindrances, no inhibitions here. So if you have no inhibitions and you have no reservations about it, then I would advise you to not entertain the opinions of others. Not necessarily engage people in until you know it's a sure thing. Because their thinking and their needling can thwart it. It can abort it. Okay, well, we just go leave it clean and clear like they say. And next comes the Ace of Cups. Look at this. And when you do that, when you begin to reflect on your truth and see this is you reflecting on your nature, getting into your nature and trusting yourself, that's just a teeny little vote for yourself. It lets out this profusion of life, this profusion of joy. These are all your votes for yes, your votes for yourself, the abundance coming on in. Because you're like, there's no shame in my game. I'm Capricorn. We're made of gold. We're the divine connectors. It's the part where all the whole zodiac, y'all. But if you're tuning into Capricorn, that's the message you're getting from it. Okay, your cup is overflowing, which is beautiful because there were so many cups showing up. You got a lot on your plate, Capricorn. Ooh, you got a lot. You're dreaming up maybe lifetimes worth. Let me get these things. Now, we're not going to look at them all, but I'm just going to pull them back up from the depths. We're just going to put them in your cup, right? You got all this goodness coming on in. And it was interesting because it was the Two of Pentacles, but it's this side. The choosing, the decision has been made. Committing to yourself. Committing to yourself as your priority. Committing to your opinions as your like your vote. That's very much what's showing up here. Your vote. Look at that garden. It's all been designed by the power of your mind. By the power of your mind. And life and nature are in support of that, because they're also being mirrored here as well. It's blossoming, it's greened up, it's abounding. Heaven is coming down to meet you. That's this cosmic blue coming on in. And it's the wind that your dreams very much fly on. Okay. Okay. So remember, justice. That's why we're bringing this in, because it's time. I'm aware how big your dreams are. I vote for you. I vote yes. I'm ready to see them, because when you celebrate and you step into your joy, woo, it makes our world a happy, brighter, healthier place. For me, even if we never meet in person. I love you, friend, and I believe in you. So then we have the Queen of Cups coming on in. Ooh, longing for a relationship, one that is nurturing, devoted, and loving. Loving you right where you're at. Not trying to shift up your environment or extract you from here and force you to there. One that takes you exactly as you are. Fully capable. I mean, like this octopus mom, look at that hair. I always say moms are octopi, because they have to have an arm to hold the bag, to hold the baby, to pull the dog, to pull the door open with their foot, to carry the groceries, the whole thing. Now, y'all, it could be anybody, of course, but I've seen so many mothers have to manage that when there's something that's necessary, you find a way to do it. You find a way to do it. And that's the kind of person you're calling into relationship. Now, this is love relationship, but this is also devotion to your children. This is your prayer for your children, that the rightful inheritance of where they come from, where you come from, is afforded to them. That is the justice that you're seeking here. And with that, the light shaft begins to penetrate the darkness, should we say, the depths and the waters, all the way to the core. All the way to the core. And we know you've been guarding that pearl. That mighty pearl of wisdom. Where shall we find out about this mighty pearl of wisdom? Let's go in here. Tell us about this mighty pearl of wisdom that Capricorn has been covering and protecting, gestating in the legacy field. Where's the legacy field? You're talking about like the back of the neck, like right here. Kind of like planes have a black box that records everything, or like the Bermuda Triangle, it's the back box. What is that pearl of wisdom? I see you. Air spirit, knowledge, forest temple, enlightenment. So this is the wonderful imagination that all things are possible. All things are possible. This is what you desire for your children and for your lover, because it is what you live by inside yourself, in your own self. That's why it was so downcast. That's why it was so disheartening. And that's why you were sharing, because you brought your world here. And we can see not many have been receptive to it, but nature is. Nature is, Capricorn. Nature votes for you, and let that be the beginning, okay? Because the dolphins are like, we're mammals. We're mammals. We know what it's like. We care. We care about the family unit. So your desire for a happy family, that is the pearl of great price. Once you know new life is springing forth from there, I see it from the roots. I don't know how many generations back that it snagged, snared, or got caught. But it's opening up, and it's becoming the sunburst scallop. The sunburst scallop. It's a special one that has these special markings, these white lines that shoot up like radiant light from the bottom of the ocean. So that's where this enlightenment is coming from. You, through your passion and your devotion, have brought light to the depths, okay? Because Capricorn is a sea goat. You go to the depths of the waters in the highest of the heights on earth. You're the pinnacle in both directions, the mirror reflection, the true, okay? That's why they're here for you. All right, so with that, we're going to go at 5850. We're stepping into Aqua. And Aqua, your word is celestial. So in this month of November, when they're talking about there's an abundance of love, life has a lot of love to give if we let it. And with your word being celestial, let's tap in to see a little bit of what you're talking about, crystals. Let's get a little bit of that celestial spirit going on up in here. Directionality, kyanite cleansing clearing. So right now we declare all your tools, all your implements, and your whole self, your energy field, your family line, your wishes, hopes, desires, dreams, your finances, all those accounts and streams that you have had to tap out, like second mortgage, in order to have traveled back and forth to Pluto all these decades or months or years or lifetimes in order to bring in this new era of plasma, that is being restored to you and repaid to you with interest. That's what kyanite is bringing in, Aquarius. This is just a moment of honoring you. Like, you just, that's precious. Thank you. Thank you for paying the price. That was too great to pay, but you did it anyway. Thank you for loving us like that. Well, let's bring in some tea leaves for you, okay, friend? Thank you, Aquarius. That's why some call this plasma era the age of Aquarius. But it's really, it's air and water. Oh, there's one hidden in there. It's air and water coming together. Just like when we speak, it requires moist vocal cords in order for the words to be formed, right? And it's moisture in the air that causes things to grow along with the sunshine. So hang on a second. Let's see what we're bringing in for you. Here's a bit of what you're reluctant or resistant to, and it's plenty of material things. But dare I say, if it cost you your life, it cost you your limb, it cost you your hopes and dreams, and maybe a lot of things had to be put off for a while in order to prioritize these things. Now, we live in a material world, but with a physical body. What they're saying is, let us provide for your well-being. Don't limit us there. If you will let us, we have an abundance of love to give, to restore these material things to you, to restore your health, to ease the, that's what the interest is coming in as, actually. And that's why we had to go there first, because it eases off the wear and tear. Just like people who drive for a living, if they are driving their own vehicle, they write off for the mileage, and they also write off for the wear and tear. And that's what they're taking into account. And they're saying, maybe you haven't totally taken that into account yet. Okay. So we've cleansed and cleared the lines, but now they're like wanting to lubricate them and to establish them. Just like our intestinal lining, it needs a healthy, balance in it, we'll just say, to not getting all the disgusting words, but it needs all that in there so that you don't get a leaky gut. So everything is sealed up, and it comes from where it is and it goes to where it's going effortlessly and easily with support. So this is inverted for whatever reason. Let me read and see what's there. Protection from a powerful friend, dog. Okay, some of you may be choosing to get a pet now that you have time to devote to yourself, a loyal, loving companion that goes beyond human words and thinking. And some of you, the letter A is definitely firing and showing up here. But it's engaging in that restoration of love with something that moves from an energetic and a more primal, instinctual perspective. Okay, but it is protection from a powerful friend. So like the dolphins stepping on in here and expecting the powerful change that can give you a new lease on life, a renewed faith, and maybe even grounding you quite a bit, making you more earthy because you have gone out and come back so many times, that this gives you, we'll call it a responsibility, a little bit more of an earth and tether, yes, so that things don't just like and do so much of the Jupiter, because that's what plasma is. It's Jupiter and Saturn coming in together, of the expansion and the contraction that causes things like a heart to beat, right? They're like, don't touch it yet. Look at you, all the tea leaves. You're like, get to the good stuff up underneath it. So we have something in between kyanite and this, which we'll take a look at in a moment. But for now, unicorn is on top, and you're like, power to us. We got the purple people eater right here. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Now, I love it because it is coming from the eye. Expect powerful change. And that changes this immense love coming on in, that when you allow these material things to enter in, it may look like magic, y'all, and those are the things you believed in your heart for so long, but they're saying, let us also bring it in the earthen scope. That will not diminish the magic by any means. Matter of fact, it's going to begin to create a lot of magic amongst human beings as you come and as you go, anonymously. It doesn't even have to be notoriously. It can be anonymously, okay? Let me get a sip to freshen. They're saying, trust this and let it happen. Trust this and let it happen. Parting of the ways in either romance or business. Cleaning up the ashes. Cleaning up the pieces. And what's neat, as things that have been broken, they're saying can be brought back down to their base element and restored. Brought back down to their base element and restored. Some of you, it may seem like irreparable damage, like say your credit, or maybe your family got broken apart and it seems like it'll never be mended, right? It seems impossible, but that's why kyanite is here. Kyanite cannot be stymied, nor can it be refused. The beauty of it is it's not imposing anything other than purity and truth, and for the pure sake, and restoring things back to their natural charge, okay, their electronic charge. With this, we have dark woman, and this is inverted too, sitting on its head. It's like, don't want to discuss it, don't want to talk about it, but here we are. Dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. And you see those seedy little eyes? It's somebody who might have been like spying on you for a minute or wishing against your magic. It could be even an internal energy or an external person. It's someone who played like family, played like a friend, played like a lover, played like a BFF, a companion, someone on your side. And then they began to needle in and like, kind of like poison from the bottom up. Created dragon. It's like there was some awful football thing years ago where this person went and poisoned trees on a school campus. I mean, grown man went and did that. And it killed this tree, y'all. It was terrible. But that's that thing. You are a tree unto life. You are a tree unto life. And it's looking at unicorn, and unicorn says, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. For one, where your attention goes, the eyes do not engage with things that wish you harm or hate. You do not have to look that in the eye. They're saying at that point, come on into the truth of who you are. And this is what's sitting here. That's quite interesting. How did this get left out? I am a lovable person. That's what you know on the inside. And they can't touch that. They cannot touch that. So when you feel the pressure, or when you feel that seediness, that or people trying to ride on your coattails or jump in and get a free ride and guilt you or shame you or provoke you or obligate you or opinionate you, those type of things, they're saying, cleanse it, wash it. I mean, water can literally do it, y'all. Water can do it. You can also clear your vagal nerve, which is very scorpionic. And you can look up vagal nerve clearing on YouTube and you'll find some videos that show you exactly how to do it. It only takes a few seconds to a couple of minutes, but that might be something for you as well. I don't know. But especially if you feel a lot of stress and what they call hot around the collar or clenched in your throat, or like whoever it is, I feel you just kind of grabbing on right here. That might be for you. Okay, friend. But under the bowl, the material things that they're bringing in is the reparation of the costliness, what it broke, the price that was paid. And that's life trying to show honor to all this that has been endured, okay? So now between that dark woman and the kyanite, it's interesting the clearing, how this car was left turned down. What? Ain't no stopping us now. Great good fortune. 4-leaf clover. I love that. Happy hearts all around. Look at this. Look at this all around. All around. There's no stopping you. And there's no need to get bogged down in the worry or the conditions. Anytime conditions start being thrown on something, just wash it clear and clean. That's why they talk about when you get stressed, go take a shower, go take a dip, splash your face, you know, go sit by some water, go look at some water, listen to some running water, turn on a fountain, turn on a sink, anything like that. It can shift your state so rapidly. And that brings in the cooling, calming effects. The cooling and calming effects that you desire, and not only that you desire, but that you deserve, that you're worthy of, that it's time for, that it is time for. Okay, Aquarius, thank you, friend, for showing up. 109:15. And we are stepping into Pisces now. We're going to take a look at your word. Pisces is honor. So honor in November, in this month, that has a lot of love to give, and they're wanting you to let it in. Let it in. Pisces, you seem to be wanting to start with some energy clearing on a color card. So let's do that for Pisces as we initiate honor in this month of November for Pisces. Okay. You're quick to the draw. You're ready to go. I love it. Indigo, improve your vision. So there's a bit of instability there. Maybe looking both ways, maybe still weighing options, maybe a little bit of doubt, a little bit of reservation is what I see going on here. So we're going to get a little bit of crystal support for you to help stabilize your vision and to bring in the wealth of your abundance, the full cycle, the closure. I see that. It's quite a bit going on, but let's be really specific of exactly what you need so that you can travel lightly. Okay. Power to the pinky, to the promise. This is like the woo, woo. This is like the power hand going on here. And you're saying, but you know, you were trying to take all that other mess because you devise emerald to be too expensive, out of reach, out of touch, out of time. That's why there is this instability going on. Indigo is where the colors keep pulling apart and trying to go back together, finding out how they fit together and how they merge. But see, they go from the blue to the purple, from the blue to the purple. How do you merge your face? It's too expensive. Well, you are you. There isn't another you. All is well in my body and my mind. Your imagination. Take time to imagine. Take time to imagine. Your imagination is this emerald. It is this beautiful green. It is ripe and ready. It is luscious. It is abounding. They're saying step into it. Step into it. Now you might, if you want to check out angels and things, you could look at Zadkiel. Zadkiel very much harmonizes with Pisces and the aquamarine because it is your stone. It's sitting here looking at me going, tell her. There's a specific her. Tell her about them. Tell her about him. So Zadkiel is a collection of energies that come together as one unit, as one union. It's like a giant pillar of aquamarine and then uprises this majestic form. Is a guardian, is a protector, so that you can take that time to get into your imagination, so that you can devote that time to it, because you're asking about the prosperity so that you could afford yourself this face, this look. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Afford this face. Okay. It goes both ways. What read was that? You might want to check out the Magic Monday. All right. Because it talks about that in there. So it's defense. Beneficial delay. Stay neutral. Trying time. Decide. Be clear. Right action. So what is actually costly is staying in this disparate state. That is the state of poverty, the state of despair. Despair. P-A-I-R. Pair. Let your eyes come together and tell yourself the truth. You are worthy. You are worth it. That is the expense here. It's all being done at your expense to stay in this separation. It's hurting you to not allow this energy of life to flow in and through you, because you are worthy. You are ready. You are prepared. Take the conditions off. Let life bless you here. Now, Pisces, the same way you bless others, let life bless you. Okay, that makes you true. Okay, so this is what stuck to the table. So let's find out what it is. Moon, changes in your life. This is showing up as the navel and the goldness like seed going on in there. This is very much like the dragon offering it to you. No longer having to be protective or guarded over your situations. And you're saying plural, because there are quite a few things that you've had go on in your life. And along with it, we have coming in coins. Money will be coming to you. Okay, this is more than just wealth and health and all that. This is specific money. So you might also tune into Aquarius because they were challenged with the idea of allowing material things to be loved into your presence. A multitude of money. A multitude of money, Pisces. I can say more, but that's where we're at. And that's what this month of November is about, giving you the choice and the option, to the consideration, to allow life to love you, to give these goods unto you, whatever we're speaking of here, to give you this life force, because it's giving it to all. It's giving it to all. You shouldn't have to restrain yourself because of these like skewed perspectives of who has and doesn't have, or should have or shouldn't have, or would or wouldn't have, or all this mess and conundrum they're talking about. That's chaos in your life. That's the many waters like flicking their tongues on your ears when they're saying we are one voice. We are one voice, and we desire you to know that we are loving on you exactly the same that we love on everyone. It just looks different based on people's preferences, to their personality, what brings them joy. Because love comes in as one force, and what it looks like in somebody else is a different color than what it looks like in me. Be your bold, bright, beautiful self. Let your face shine this goldness light. Let it be radiant. Let life shine its favor on you. Yes, you stand out, but we all do. That's the thing that you're afraid of and in consideration of, is like, I don't know. I don't want to stick or stand out. I don't want to, be suchy much or look like I'm this or that or whatever. Those are the wrong eyes. Those are the wrong eyes. That's the evil eye. That's the ego eye trying to look at yourself. It's life backwards. They're wanting you to live from the inside. That's why they're saying, let us in, let the life force come in. And when you let our love pour into you, you will understand and know, and you will see it's the same thing that we're giving to everyone. It's beautiful and it's divine and it's personal. Okay. That's exciting, Pisces. Vote yes. Vote for yourself. Let love in. All right. I love you. Okay. 11640. So now we're stepping into Aries. Let me put that 0 there clearly. Aries, it was very interesting when your word wanted to come up. It said red light, and it actually didn't say a word. Picture's worth 1,000 words. You just flash the image of the red light, the thing that hangs, and it's the one that hangs this way, not this way. And it's about the 3 elements being there, but it is one light with 3 different lights on there. Being able to have the permission to not just do this or that, but to have the option in between, to slow down, to consider, to shift, to change, a decision point, that type of thing. But it's talking about red light, community of 3, common community, not just being solo mio, okay? Not just solo mio. So let's get in here with this. Start forgiving. Start giving. Fire flower, Aries, red light, community of 3. Now, if you didn't, you might want to check out the general and the eclipse time and Chiron even, because it's talking about the, there's an abundance of love in November that life is trying to give to us, okay? And they're asking us to let the love in. Let us give this to you. What is that? That is this joyfulness, this playfulness, this trusting of life, this union of life. Can you imagine if all the animals did this crap that we do? Like, oh, I'm not worthy, or, oh, wait, don't give it to me like that, or it should be like that. There would be no bounty around us, y'all. They're wanting us to get into our nature specifically for this reason, so that they can love on us. Show us all those kisses. all those heavenly kisses. Let me show you how I love you. Now, if that's kind of stirring in you and you're like, whatever, you might want to listen to Pisces, because it's a short read, but it's very concise about what this has to do with. That's why we're the whole zodiac. You could listen to the whole read if you choose, because it all applies to you. Cute and clever. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Creative concepts trying to come in, but they're like inverted. So not knowing you have to root down to rise up. Some snags, some thorns. Jumping in. I want to, it's almost like everything in the middle is just cluttering it all up. It's all those conditions that are really getting in the way between jump in and the kisses. Let us love you. How about you let us wrap you in our arms and love on you? A physical love, an earthly love, a tangible love. It will take on many forms throughout your lifetime, throughout the moments, throughout the seconds of the day. Life is alive. It is ever transforming. It is vigorous. It is vital. It is virile. They stand straight up. Integrity, long and strong. They said we're true and that's who we are. That is the justice. So with this, we're going to get you a tarot card, okay, Aries, about this is what stayed. Let's see what went down. What went down the world? So the kisses. There's a little bit of reluctance. It's like you've gotten up on your high tower. And you're like, well, I wanted to be human. I wanted to be in this world, but I didn't want to totally leave my other world. So it's put you out and you've had to go to this extraordinary, not extraordinary, but extraordinary way of trying to get your food because you're out of your element. Get in your element. This is your intelligence and your divinity. This has to do with your swiftness. Some of you may have strong Capricorn in your chart, so you might want to check out the Capricorn read. But Spirit is coming in for you and is intended this way. All the ships are coming to greet you and to meet you, but they've shrunk in comparison to where you're at, so your perspective is skewed. You don't see them as valuable enough to come down and receive what's in there, because it's kind of like when you're in an airplane that things on the ground just look like specks and spots, these mighty trees. But they're saying if you come down from your high horse, from your high tower, from that place to whence you dragged yourself. Yeah. It's not like you were all like, ooh, I'm so much this and that. This was more, oh, I'm going to protect myself. Oh, this is how I think I should do it. I'm not so sure. Let me just keep. And you just kept kind of inching up that tower. And they're ready for the tower to come down. The tower of isolation. They're ready to kiss on you. Somebody got some love coming in. Some love commotion, some love potion number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ad infinitum. And that's when it's cruising on over under, the dolphin, into expect powerful change in how you feel about love, how you perceive love, because that is what has been impacting how you receive love. They're clearing your perception. This month, the eclipse, it's coming on the 7th to 8th. Even if you miss it, these hold open this location so that you can have the experience irregardless of when you show up, okay? You will be right on time. But this is the cleansing of the lens, the new perspective. It's like polishing the glass, the mirror, the washing of the car. It's that whole thing. It's like a Electrolux, like when Willy Wonka takes them through the washing machine and they come out squeaky clean and dry. That's plasma. And that's where it's saying expect powerful change when you have that new perspective. You're going to be a new receiver as well. And then you jump into this world. Look at this magnificent world that you're inheriting, y'all. These magic seeds that scatter themselves on the shore from the ocean. They're like little dreaming diamonds for all of us. But this is, you have the map. You have the power. You don't just have the world on the string. You have it on a rod. And what is that? It's a globe, of course. But it's like those gazing globes that they would put in gardens. That in one tiny little space, you can see the whole vastness, but you can conceive it. It's so easily conceivable because it brings it into one point. I love that. See, we're here from this angle, it was shortchanging you and shortcutting you, like undercutting you, your inheritance and your reward, because it was isolating. This is including you, and it brings it all to you. And not only that, the power is now in your hands because you've lived this. When we turn it on its head, turn it on its ear, and we shake it out, and we get all these loves and kisses like James Brown. We don't have to kiss ourselves no more. Dolphin kisses, life kisses, energy kisses, lover kisses, all that, because your perspective has changed. So now your respective has changed. Your reception to it has changed. And this is now bringing in that, they're talking about like an elucidation, like the ability to communicate to others effortlessly and easily because you've been there. You've been there, and you bring it together into those simple points that people's minds have the aha moment. What took you lifetimes and millennia and suffering and insufferable amounts of experiencing is now converted in the great joy that it brings you. Because look at that Buddha crown all up on your head. You be beautiful. And you got your skirt all trimmed up in the front because you're like, I got to be able to move. I'm going to dance. I got things to do. I'm ringing my bell. I'm waking it up, and I am shaking it up. Sounds good to me, Aries. I would say jump on that. Let that love on in. So with that, we're going to move on at 125.08. We're going to step into Taurus. And remember, we're the whole zodiac, so you're welcome to keep on trucking with me here. Now, Taurus, your word is no-go. And they were like, and they said, you know, the no-go zone. And I'm like, okay, the no-go zone. So why don't we go to the no-go zone? Why don't we go to the place where no man has gone before? Ooh, I know where that is. That's right here, the unknowable. Ooh, what is sticking? What has you stuck, Taurus? What has had you stuck? Stuck out of where you want to be, stuck in where you don't want to be? Constraint and strength. There's been this immovable strength, which has been kind of like a super glue, and it has hindered you from your mobility, your freedom, your liberation. You don't have to sit here as the Hierophant and the judge anymore, making sure things are executed properly. They're bringing in your liberation and your freedom. How do I know? They're saying, get an affirmation card. We're going to get a new focus for our mind. I see it still coming in. I'm a lovable person. Let's get this for Taurus of letting that love in. I see you. Because this month in November, if you didn't see the intro, y'all, it's serious when my nose starts itching. November has a lot of love to give if we let it. If we let it, Taurus. So this no-go zone is the love zone. How we going into that love zone? Let's get that. Ooh, you got double up. Look at this. All of this is double. Has it been double-mindedness? Has it been having to hold on strength beyond strength? Hope beyond hope? I don't know. We'll find out. But let's see. I am at peace with my past. Okay, that's one location. I give myself the care and attention I need to thrive, which is the now. So since we've made peace with our past, we're going to set that behind us, okay? Because that's the spiritual release of all our hopes and dreams, that all of our eggs aren't in the one basket going, I hope it goes like this. I hope it goes like this. When they are liberated and freed, just like you, your soul, your dreams as well, they can breathe the air they breathe, sing the songs they sing, and they can be in the environment that they flourish and thrive in. As we're saying that, this comes out. I define my worth and I am worthy. All right, well, let that beauty come back and pat you up, okay? So I give myself the care and attention I need to thrive. Self, I. It's just like this. We have two eyes, but they come together in one point. That's what makes 3D. But we also have the point with which we receive on the back of the mind's eye, okay? And that makes it 4D. That's what allows it to come into fullness, because it goes in, it inverts, and then it reverts, and then it goes out. We get communicated as to what is incoming, and then how do we view it, how do we see it, and what do we do with it? So under here, it's sneaking out a sneaking suspicion about a strong connection, but you're talking about lack of clarity, futility, a waste of time, clearing out the old. So let's do that. Let's clear out the old, Taurus. Let's get some new colors. Let's freshen up your space. This is like painting your interior. We're redecorating your walls. All right, Taurus. What have we got here? Ooh, we massaging the ruby. There was a whole week of reads that came in, gosh, pretty early on, maybe November 2 years ago, and it was talking about massaging the ruby. Now, Archangel Michael came in, and it was about activating our power zone, okay, the truth and identity of who we are. But look at that fascination. Things that seem cut away or seems like they're going to be losses or missing out on are actually honing you in to what remains, to the truth of who you are, to embody and to empower you for your benefit. And that's why they're talking about you don't have to keep gripping and holding on. They're trying to lift up this other side. If you've ever seen tents at a beach, it's the 4 poles kind of have to go up. And if you're one person setting it up, you have to lift one corner, lift another, lift it up, and keep going around until you can finally get it raised all the way up. So there's a little bit more shoring up that they're desiring to do in the area of new beginnings and growth and change, humility, service, and firm principles. They're not talking about a firm grip. Principles can transform from subject to subject to subject. It is the same form, the same outline, but it cross applies. That's how it is truth. That's how it is truth. And with that, we also have lilac. Strengthen your faith. Trust that we are on your side and we have your best interests at heart. We have your best interests at heart. Let's find out a little bit about that. So over here, there's constraint. That's the one that was more movable. It says shadow, deception, denial, setbacks, mend, rectification, and perseverance. There's a lot of heaviness here, Taurus, so let's see how we can clear some of that out. Knight of Cups. Ooh, some love. They're saying let the love in. They won't rush it. They won't hurry it. They're not going to force it. And it makes it easy to cross over. This affords you cross ability, which is interesting. Because look at the symbol for constraint. It helps you cross those waters. What seems trepidatious or daunting or whatever, the horse, your power, will take on for you. It's just a few little steps, but the thing is you're like, I don't know if I want to see it. Look at you blocking your vision there. Blocking your vision. Maybe it's because you've seen the devil's back one too many times. You're like, I keep getting trapped into this cave of being of service to others. Okay. Being of service to others. Well, they're saying for one, that is a part of life, but maybe it wasn't on your terms. Maybe that's some of what got you, Taurus. How do we mend and rectify this? This stickiness, this heavy, this firm, this severe, the persevere, right? We see it, you've offered love coming on in, and it makes it easy to cross these waters that are very mild, but maybe they're broad in scope. But it makes it easy to go across here. So we're just going to stop right there. Maple spirit, generosity. Okay. Rejuvenate your body. Maybe you just burn the candle at both ends. Sometimes being overly permissive, like when you're feeling really good, you go in for another hit, like a 5th piece of cake, a 2nd piece of cake, 24 cookies, 2 more shows before you go to bed, whatever it is. Maybe staying late to the event because you're enjoying hanging out and talking to everybody, and they're saying that is great, that is luscious, we love that. That gets you excited, but somewhere it's undermining the juvenation. Y'all groove, your vitality, and that's actually what's getting you in here. It's a bit of receding and going in there to kind of guard your goods. And that has to do with some of your energy, your generosity. It's that balance of plenty. Yeah. Because see, the generosity that when life starts telling you no, or time to go, or not this time, or ease on back, rein it in, reel it in, not so much, a little bit less, hey, one more, that type of thing is trying to bring you into a bit of a balance so that you have everlasting joy, that you have that perfect bite of frosting with every bite of cake. It's not just like because often that excessiveness is trying to mend where there was some lack or some absence, and they're wanting to bring you into the present of the now. Into the present of the now. So you might want to check out the Aries. If not, I mean, we are the whole zodiac, but it was talking about a lot of that, locating yourself into the now, about how do we trust that life really wants us to have this joy, to have this deliciousness. Well, where do you think all this abundance comes from? Life afforded this tree this glory. Life affords you this glory. It gives you this love. I mean, that's the thing. You can take up a cup at a time, to sip it, to sup it, because it is abounding and plentiful. There is plenty there. You're never without. That is a lie that has been biting over you. You're never without. You are with. You are loved. Be generous to yourself. Be kind in the fullness of it, in the rest and the restoration and the like charging up of your phone, right? Think of it as something simple like that. Remember the principle-based thinking to help remind yourself that you're not abstaining or doing without, but you're being wise in your operation. Okay, Taurus? Hey, I love you. So 134.46. We are stepping into Gemini, 46, excuse me. We are stepping into Gemini. Now, interestingly enough, Gemini, your word came out as Aurelia. And I'm like, Aurelia? Okay, I could see it spelled in my mind's eye. And I'm like, let me look that up. And it comes from the root word Orion, which has to do with gold. And so it means golden and the golden one. And as the trailing word behind Aurelia, it was the saints. Okay? So the golden ones, the saints, standing in the purity of your truth, the purity of your power. And in this case, Gemini, I'm picking up as your purity as unity, not having to be the two poles, the separation, because I remember before I went through Cancer, and there was this period of time that you were building a philosophy at the channel of being that open gateway, the shortcut without the short change, the wormhole, the loophole, the stepping into the whole new world, not having to build a brick or a facet at a time, but very much like the shedding, kind of like if it went caterpillar, 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 butterfly instead of chrysalis, if it were just like a tunnel that we could move through. That's what Gemini is. You're not the poles. You're the space in between. You're the space in between, and that is gold to you, okay? So let's get a little bit behind this. Letting go. Look at that goldness spirit of autumn going on here. Then we have the thicket of thorns and the uncertainty. You're like, I don't know, because I know Geminis love partnership, relationship, BFFs, the whole human connection. That is beautiful and divine. But the dolphin now here is lighting up going, but all of that only flourishes to the extent that you nurture and nourish your relationship with yourself. That imagination, meditation, liberation, doing those type of things, a form of creativity. Definitely, whatever that form is. It could be handiworks, it could be knitting, it could be sewing, it could be drawing, it could be music, it could be crossword puzzles. I mean, whatever it is that gives you that little bit of free time to tune into that space of like opening up and examining at the same time. I see you. At the same time, I love it, because love is coming in, and that is very much on board here. So in the month of November, they were talking about that there's an abundance of love to give if you will let it in. Letting it in. So let that space between the two pillars be a two-way street. It's not just you getting to go into that divine world that's all juicy and luscious that you love. Also let them come into you. We're talking about life. We're talking about life itself. Let it enter into your realm. Let it transform your realm, because that brings in the beauty. And beauty is truth. It is integrity. It is being the same on the inside as it is on the outside. See, these are like the two pillars. One's beckoning you here, and on this day you might feel like that. The next day you might feel like this. The next moon you might feel like this. And it's saying, no, you don't have to choose. When you center yourself, you are this man or woman. This has to do with that divinity, like the lotus rising up out of the water. That for you, your feet are firmly planted in the waters of what? Imagination. Being whole. As you sow to your wholeness, that is what radically transforms your world and your life and the principles that you operate in. So let's get a couple of tea leaves. There's one sticking its way down here and is bumping the card about having courage. I have the courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. Well, that's the one, the center of your universe. Who is that? You. And from you stems your friendships and your relationships. Okay, it's just trying to push off the top. All of these are. All right, no shuffling there. So let's see what's going on over here. Okay, so at the bottom, the one that stuck was good advice from a wise person. They're saying, listen to joy. I mean, I tune in, y'all. I sit on the other side of this lens and listen as well. Choose yourself first. Not only first. Then everything comes after that. That's the beauty of the word first. It means there is more to come. And being that you're abundant and creative and lively and loving and so want to experience the human experience because you are the human on the zodiac chain, that's where it comes on in, is it starts with you embodying your humanity, shoring up your humanity, shifting your state into well-being where you make sure your road goes both ways. That's what makes it true. That's what makes it a relationship. Then with that, the bird flying came on in. News is on the way. So they're saying, hey, the moment you open up, we have this incoming advice, creativity, ideas, books, numbers, lottery winnings, those sort of things coming your way. And Wild Rose Fairy's like, what? What'd you say, Joy? I'm like, psh, they've been talking to y'all for a minute, and that's just not November. It's going all the way through January 27th. So begin to tune into yourself, spend this time with yourself, invest in yourself, nourish and nurture yourself, and watch how you begin to grow as you thrive, okay? All things will begin to thrive in your life. It's not one or the other or this or that. And time shift from here to there. No, it's beginning with yourself like the trunk of the tree, and then it branches out into this beautiful canopy from where all the fruit comes. So we got January and wealth. Ooh, because remember, I was telling you, if you listen to the all signs read for the next 3 months, that's what it's titled. And that's what the thumbnail says. That is the one that tells you the big skinny on what is going on for the next 3 months, all the way through January 27th. This abundance of wealth coming in, fortune, pleasure, lucky, worthy, Jupiter, expansion, things growing quickly. But there's also, they're going like this as well. So it doesn't just, it's the shoring up of it. Like a potter on a wheel. When they throw the clay down, they begin to pull it up and move it. That's how it's expanding. It's expanding exponentially in a balance of out and up growth and development. Ooh. This is why they're saying focus on yourself, love yourself, nourish yourself, find your worth, know who you are, find your value, and all good things come from that, because it is good for you to be in the center of yourself. And the true meaning of the word good, it means wholeness. It means nothing working against itself. So there we have the marriage coming in, and see, it is the Trinity. It involves all the parts of you, that when you understand true relationship with yourself about who you are, then there's no compromise going on. And when you have no compromise going on within yourself, then you don't have to compromise in life. Those are quick to adjust or on the spur of the moment adaptations that we make, but it can become a spiral, and it can become a pattern, and that's unnecessary. Because here it says cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Okay? So when you do this, it preempts. It's like after the nip slip with Janet Jackson on the Super Bowl, they now do a 5-second delay in order to be able to edit out any things that shouldn't be said on live TV or whatever else. So it's almost live. It's kind of what's going on. So this helps you not get ahead of yourself, but have a little, catch a little wind of what's coming so that you're ready and prepared, which is what nature does. It's what horses do. It's what cattle do. It's how they protect themselves when tornadoes are coming. They sense it coming ahead of time, or earthquakes or whatever else. Even shifts in the season, their coat begins to prepare itself. The grass is on the ground, let them know. It begins to adapt and change. So it all works to your favor and no reluctance there. Because if it's working to your favor and benefit, it's working to the benefit of all of life. That's why they wanted you to get into this beautiful relationship first, so that you trust, know, and understand that, okay? You might check out Pisces as well as Aries. It was getting into a bit of this, and I love how you have this beautiful circle of life going on down here. It's really nice. It's really nice, Gemini. I'm happy to see that for you. Okay. So 144, we're going to step into Cancer, the can-cans. Let's see. Can. Your words are diamond trust. And so this trust is kind of like a bank account, like a place, like a purse, like an envelope, like somewhere that you've been stowing and bestowing things of wealth and wonder for quite some time. There was a little echo of, I heard the word worry coming on in there. So some of that you did out of worry, but that hasn't impacted their value. It just hasn't allowed them to be appreciated. And when something appreciates in value, it grows in value as it has its exposure and wonder and attraction from others. And you were like, well, that's kind of what had us nervous. Sorry, your clappers are going like this. That's kind of what had us nervous. That's kind of what had us worried or concerned. And the thing that they're talking about with Cancer is like stepping into your confidence, doing away with suspicion and the side eye, and letting this trickle of truth come on in. Okay, so Cancer, you're definitely wanting to know all is well in my body and my mind. No longer having your imagination play tricks on you. It's yours, right? That means you're the captain of that ship, okay? That relationship with yourself. So tell us, what is going on with Cancer now? This month of November, or whenever you're showing up to watch this, has to do with there's an abundance of love that they're wanting to give. Let love in. Now for you, we have 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands. Let me take a closer look at these for a second. It has a lot to do with cost and your perspective of cost. Thus the worry. It's like you have old debris in your hair and needing to get those old thoughts and ideas, like static charge from the worry, just kind of like static cling in the dryer. It makes all sorts of things stick to it. And our hair is where we shake the stars from, our dreams from, to cascade down all over. It's kind of like that magic fairy dust, where yours has been bent over and heavy laden and burdened. It's been costly. It's been cumbersome. And it's penetrated to a level that is unhealthy. So let's get a little bit of clearing for Cancer here. Let's get a little bit of crystal magic medicine, which is very much your way. Some of you might like your jewels dripping off your fingertips or your earrings. I guess that rang your bell. Let's see what's going on here. We have agate and we have pyrite. Okay. Taking a look at courage, which is good because that is our card over here that's talking about your hair, getting the static cling out of your hair, getting the dust bowl out of your hair. It's maybe going through that time where there was too much of one thing, that everything was cleared away and nothing was left. Did away with all your roots. I have the courage to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. That courage. This is that courage coming in for you, that support. No more fool. No more coming up empty-handed. It's leading you into the beautiful chamber, the diamond mind. So reactivating the fields of your mind. Reactivating the fields of your mind. How are we reactivating the fields of your mind? Let's get in with the runes here, okay? Reactivating the fields of your mind, Cancer. Let's reactivate the fields of your mind for healthy, for balance, for cosmic love, for trust and divinity. I'm feeling you. Come on in here. So let's see. It feels like 2 cards, but it's actually just one. So we'll look at the front and the back. I gotcha. Growth. They're like this. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Growth inside and out, blossoming, ripening, motives, diligence, fairness, and gentleness. Then we have interference, character required, dismay, strip away. Remember that barrenness that we were talking about? And cart before the horse. You're playing both sides of the coin, both sides of the coin. You're like mine and mine, mine and mine, mine and mine. And so instead of taking the time to get to know yourself and to differentiate that it's not about how much you have, it's about who you are and what is true to you now. Later can come. And when later comes, what is required for later will come along with it. What is desired for later will come along with it. That's the joy of the story and the glory therein. Okay. Okay. So then we step in, look at this. That brings in the pink. And pink for you is where the balance comes in. That's high heart energy. That's right here. The restoration, carnelian, and pink tourmaline. So it's not only dealing with the spiritual connection, the unseen, it's dealing with the physical connection, the seen. So there's no duping or doping or the fooling or presto changeo, that type of thing of like having to gamble away your trust. They're wanting you to invest your trust, but they're also wanting you to air out your trust, to let some of your beauty be exposed. Let it be seen. Let it be witnessed, Cancer. That's how life's wanting to love on you. By witnessing your beauty. I love it. Witnessing your beauty, your diamond trust. That when you allow life to witness your beauty, your trust is rock solid, pure, and harder than any other substance on earth. It's confirmed. It is assured. Okay. I absolutely love that, Cancer. I'm so excited for you. So 150/30. Hold on. We got 150/30. And we are bringing in Leo. And Leo, your word is further. Okay, so if you didn't watch the general read, you might want to back up and watch it. But if not, I will tell you it's talking about the eclipse. And they mentioned that November, they have lots of love to give. And they want to be able to give it to you. So they would like for you to let love in. Your word is further. So let's go further since these seem to be diving off the table. We're going to take a look for Leo on magic and leadership and purification. Your solar goodness, your yumminess, your sunshininess. Now, we're the whole zodiac, so you can check out any of these. Your grace. It's up when the hand goes on the hip, because, y'all, that is not me. Your grace. And rather than like my name is Joy, right? They're talking about your grace, like your highness. Some of you, it is your spirituality, because that's often a term used with that. Your grace. Your grace. Your presence is grace. Leo, don't just let the sun shine in. Let your sun shine out. Grace us with your presence. Come into the community. Avail yourself to us. Afford us your beauty, your light, your vision, your clarity, your harmony is very much what they're talking about. Your magic. You're the missing piece. Your peace that passes all understanding. Your peace that passes all understanding. They're talking about cut it in half. Your peace that passes all understanding, Leo. Tell us a bit about it. I feel you. I feel you. Did one of them turn? Yes. Okay. So the one that turned is where we're going to start looking. It's the camel. Persevere and you will overcome problems. Well, the thing is, they're talking about severe. And it's turned on its head. It's kind of like the ostrich having its head buried. You are so talented. You've been able to traverse the desert. You have overcome insurmountable odds, and you have kept this to yourself. I can tell you that there has been some sorrow and some trauma that you've overcome, because I felt it warbling and trapping in my throat. I don't know if you're exactly supposed to share and speak about those, or if it's just you returning to life, gracing us with your presence. is the greatest testimony of all, that you've chosen to live and to live fully, to embrace life re-entering your body, even though it created a bit of trepidation, some pain, to come back in, to move through the places that were once tender and sore, and to fortify them and to nourish them and to bring them back to life, to re-strengthen them, to do away with your handicap, your disability, the old mentality, the inhumanity that you endured, the tolerance that shaded your fruits so that they rotted on the vine. Leo, that had to have been hard, because that's counteractive and counterintuitive to everything that you are. And the testimony is that you are still here. You were still alive when everything was set out against you, not what you do, but the who that you are. And you made it. You are life. You're like the Velveteen Rabbit. You went into the realm of the I'm possible. It went beyond possible, like hope against hope, okay? And with that, we have the hand coming in need of help, assistance, and guidance. So a little bit of the mastery of how do we do this. It's like, who do I look to for wisdom on how to do this? And it's saying your imagination, all is well in my body and my mind. Everything you need is within you. Take your time and set your focus to this if you feel so called. I'm just the microphone. If your spirit resonates with this, then draw to it. Draw to meditations, whether it's quiet meditation, driving, walking, drawing, humming, skipping, swimming, sun tanning. I don't know what it is for you, but what it is, it's that quiet, still place. And it doesn't mean I'm movable like I do mine while I'm walking. It's that thing that brings you into a place that passes just words, and it begins to clear the clutter of the mind. With that, we have a claw coming in. Let's see. Be careful. Do not take risks. Okay. So this can feel a bit of a risk, right? Unearthing that camel. Can you see? You're like, well, if I do away with my camel, what am I going to do when hell comes back? You're like, my hell doesn't freeze over. It didn't stop. At least when something freezes, it stops. This penetrates. It permeates. It perpetuates. It perseveres. And you're like, what do I do? That's my risk. So say the help comes in and I take it, and then it starts to get better, and then wham, it comes to get worse again. They're like, we've got more cards to explore here. So that's what we're going to find out. But you're letting me know that's what feels risky to you, okay? Remember your grace. Your presence in itself is otherworldly. They're talking about when you entertain your own presence, when you pay attention to your own presence, when you get in your own presence through an external environment. That can mean going outside. Like I said, any of those things that I mentioned, it flows out of you and right back into you. And it gives you new perspective, new information, new breath, because I mean, there is information in the air that we breathe, okay? With that, we have chain of events. Oh my goodness, there's a snarf behind me. He comes in to do some love magic, don't you? This is Michael. Oh yeah, you can see the tail. Do you see it? He's sweeping you clean. He's sweeping you clean from your fear and your worries. He's blowing out that fire that's been consuming you, friend. That's not the spark of life, okay? I don't know what set that ablaze, but he's just cooling you off and clearing it out right now. He's a lover, not a fighter. Chain of events that will affect your life. This is a bit of you traveling. There has been a block on your travel. You have been tied up with responsibility for so long, and so many responsibilities that weren't even yours. That's a bit of the hell. It felt hellish. That is the heat and the friction, is when you feel like there is no rest for the weary. Okay, tortoise. Slowly but surely getting ahead. See that earthy energy? Some of you may want to go lay down outside. It doesn't necessarily mean on the ground. You could have a hammock. You could have a swing. You could have a towel on the sand at the beach. Whatever it is, it's taking that time to get close to the earth, to get flat, because there's this mechanism that when we lay flat and we come back up, it resets something. What exactly that is, I don't know, but I just know when things begin to get too fiery or too intense, that if I'll do that, take those couple of minutes, it will totally regain and put the power back in my hand. Like when life starts feeling ahead of me, or it feels like it's dragging me down, or it feels out of sync and out of rhythm. You, Leo, ought to know rhythm more than anybody. That beauty, that pulse of life, that can be a physical asset to utilize to get you back on track. Okay. Now, mountain. Major challenge to overcome, but what's wild is it's upside down. So this is kind of like the iceberg, that there's more beneath the surface that we do not see. So there's something that you're keeping to yourself, or that you're holding onto out of burden, out of obligation, out of right. And not like right versus wrong, like it's the right thing to do, it's what ought to be done, it should be done, that type of thing. It's like the wrongs that were done to you, like holding on to them keeps it from going back out into the world. But dare I say, when you just let it go by your grace, like the dolphins are like, we'll pick it up and we'll recycle it for you. We know how to do this. Like when oil spills are awful, y'all. But oil comes from the depths of the ocean also. That's why tar balls will wash up. It has a process of cleansing itself. Somehow nature knows how to do perfectly what man can only do imperfectly. Okay, so when you let this go, what is heavy will sink down, and it will be worked through just like compost is, until it is clean and clear. And that's when it resurfaces back into life. Life knows how to purify. Let life do this for you. And that brings in grapes and wreath. Time to go out and have fun. Sorrow over a loss. But this is more like a celebration wreath being hung on your door. It's an invitation for life to come in. Okay? This is a crown like on your head like this, saying, life, you are permitted to enter into my home and into my heart. Taste the juicy life abounding. All right, Leo, 232. So now we're getting into Virgo. Virgo, yours is almost time. Almost time is the word that's showing up for you. It's also talking about temperance, patience, and union. Because it's almost time is like if you let it get so far into your body, as opposed to like having it set like a lever or having a set point, because that's what helps the track runner. They get set and they feel it building and building and building, but they've set this trigger right here in their mind that they can only go once they hear the noise. So then that's the set point that allows you to launch forward. You are ready to go. It is obvious, Virgo. And they're just simply saying, hey, temper it back. That doesn't mean tone it down, tone it back. They're saying hold your focus, hold your point, hold it right there. Okay? Because you are ready to go. It's almost time. They just don't want you to scratch, because when you scratch, and unlike football where you get a penalty, you scratch, you can be out. Okay? So they're wanting you to be in the game, your head in the game, knowing that that set point is there for you. I heard something trying to flip. There's some adamant energy coming from you, Virgo. You're trying to turn all that over too. Ooh, I see 2 of Cups at the bottom. I see, what is on me? 4 of Swords, 4 of Cups, Ace of Swords, Strength, Emperor, and Death. There's a hodgepodge of things going on in here. And the neat thing is you're not paying too much attention to them. You're just feeling the feelings. Like your mind is set on staying in the flow of this feeling, so that you can, okay, whoever you are, my nose is itching for you. This is strange. Now, I know they're building, but these birds are smoking. 3 of Pentacles. They're sitting there smoking like leisure time. Long ago when they were really pushing cigarettes, like modern day cigarettes in the early 1900s, it was a leisure activity instead of thinking about any of the health issues that came from pumping smoke into your lungs. They thought you had a lot of free time on your hands and all that leisure. But here it's wanting to have you lend a hand in building in your leisure, not wasting and squandering time, but being constructive with your time. Being constructive with your time, and this sitting right under Dolphin, live joyfully in the present. So let the joy enter into whatever you do so that you'll never be without it. Do things that you enjoy. even your work. Let pleasure enter in. Do it the way you enjoy it. If you like it with music on, put the music on, okay? If you like it in the early morning hours, do it then. If you like to do it in little bits and bobbles along the way and mixing in activity along with it to keep the body from getting too stagnant, then so do it, because these are the things that bring you life and not only help it grow, but they help it develop. They help the picture become fully formed so that others can see it and jump on board to contribute as well. Well, that's an inverse for Virgo. Virgo often has the gifts to help to go out and help other people, but they're talking about applying that type of energy to your own dreams, your own desire and foundation. And these are the things that will shore you up and protect you from laziness, lackadaisicalness, slothfulness, and not necessarily from yourself. We're talking about from the environment around you. You won't fall prey to the sleeping sickness, should we say. And sleep is not an issue. You know what I'm saying when it's talking about the poppies and Wizard of Oz, where you're trying to get somewhere and you just can't make it. They're talking about, oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Look at this oak. Look at this acorn. The mighty oak springs forth from the acorn. One brick at a time. One brick at a time, and your foundation is being built. And what's beautiful is I see a mural being spread across this wall. What can seem functional can also be beautiful, but it's one step at a time. We do the form and the function, and then we do the beauty and the enhancement, and that brings in the 10 of Cups. Now, this is amazing because it's coming under expect powerful change. Now, when you begin to build things for yourself, right, instead of always helping others at the expense of your own dreams, here you're building your dreams, kind of like Field of Dreams, that if you build it, they will come. And the dreams that you're building are beyond the conception of other people's understanding. So you devoting yourself to building your dreams brings in a whole new experience that they couldn't have even conceived. So yes, it brings pleasure to the masses. That's why this is talking about expect powerful change. That as you begin to view yourself as worthy of your time, attention, and interest, and doing these physical construction things, building things, maybe applying finances to some dreams that you had, time and energy, maybe some travel, which was showing up in Leo. You might be on the cusp as well. It leads to this 10 of Cups, a healthy, balanced environment where all can thrive and flourish. That's the beauty of it. And this is like life's kiss on you. Who had the kisses? I don't know. You could flip on through any of them because we are the whole zodiac, but this is like the kiss of life. This is the circle of life showing up above and below. It's all encompassing. I absolutely love that. So let's see. What would you like? You're wanting a tea leaf to go with this. All encompassing. So when we're looking at Virgo and this all encompassing energy, pig, beware of greed. Oh no, you can't take too much. The words too much and enough and not enough and more than enough and all, it doesn't exist here. That's the beauty about this channel is the parameters in which we move forward. It's the whole. It's the whole, okay? Because you are plenty. There is plenty to go around. There is plenty to go around, and they're just talking about priorities. What is first? Because when you put what is first, what is next can come. But it's when we flatline or we put the cart before the horse that everything gets bogged down. Leg. Stepping into a new experience. Look at that chicken leg. You got your naked out there because you're stepping out in your own courtyard. Testing the grounds a little bit in your privacy and your privacy. I don't know who that is in your privacy. I see it or her. Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Not necessarily, because I see the leg showing up. Not just a toe in the water, you're putting the whole leg in. You're like, but you're kind of hokey pokey, and then apparently, so you're putting it in, you're pulling it out. You're putting it in, you're pulling it out. Maybe you could teach yourself a physical lesson because it is an earthen sign. Why don't you go get a plant it in the ground, or put it in a pot, put it in one day, take it out the next, just for an hour, and then put it back in. And then take it out. And I'm talking of its pot or out of the earth. And do that for 5 or 10 days and watch the quality of the plant. That's what they're talking about you, your embodiment, your health, and also the spiritual things, the unseen, trying to become seen, like your dreams. You get in the middle of it and then you get out of the way a little bit and let life take over. Then you get back in it and then you're getting out of it. It's this hokey poking that seems to be meddling. but the candle says you will be shown the way. They're talking about peace and this special peace that shows up. It's like the spider lily. They're very hard to transplant, and they just show up with wild abandon wherever they are, and they strike joy up in the heart of many gardeners or lovers of beauty. Your beauty is going to spring forth, and it's going to be enamoring. Okay, gobsmacking, jaw dropping, all that kind of stuff. Not because you naked running around the yard. You go put clothes on before you come out with all of us. But the moment you quit putting in, pulling out, putting in, pulling out, and you become fully committed, what, to yourself, your dreams, your desires, the beauty of life that it affords you, but it also brings in the field of dreams for all. That's when you will see and you will know how loved you are, Virgo. I absolutely love that. 20914. So, Libra, here we are, my friends. You are bringing in the caboose. Woo, woo. That's right, because you got the whole vista of everything stretching out behind you. Saying the farewell. What? To fare well. To be well. The whole. Bringing in the completion, the Ouroboros. And on the split, we have the 6 of Cups, but it's showing up as a victory. It's showing up as the magic. No more sacrifice having to come on in. It is the union and the embracing of that in the heart. It's like a stone landing in its setting on the ring. Okay, and at the bottom, we have 2 of Cups, but behind it, Sojourner Truth, trying to step on out here with the Ace of Swords, the Key, the Chiron, and the Mastery. Okay. You're saying back it up a few steps, back it up a few steps. You can click it back. You can check out Leo. You can check out Virgo about changing our perspective and our opinion of ourselves. Now for you, okay, here's what we got, Libra, because everybody had a word kind of coming in for them. Yours was lime, and I'm like, lime? M-E or line, N-E, and they're like lime, like a lime tree. And I'm like, oh, like Trevor Hall and the lime tree. And they're like, yep, you got it. So listen up. Here is your reading. And it's the lyrics of the song. I spark a match and watch the candle burn. The wick runs out and then love takes its turn. On fallen angels and broken sounds, we will last past the final round. It took a while for you to find me, but I was hiding in the lime tree, above the city in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. I watched it drain out, and parallel to the city streets are broken crowns beneath our feet. But as we walk across the diamonds, we know that love is always shining. So save me, love. Save me all the time. I'll wash you down with a simple sip of wine. Toast my glass to all my loved ones to let them know that the stars, well, they still shine. It took a while for you to find me, but I was hiding in the lime tree above the city in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. It repeats that for a moment. And then it goes back to I spark a match and watch the candle burn. The wick runs out and then love takes its turn. On fallen angels and broken sounds, we will last past the final round. Libra, I'm proud of you. You didn't get stuck here. You came all the way through. Now, Libra is the scales. It's the one inanimate object, animated by all that goes on around it. And the fact that you made it here and you've made it now, and this is showing up. Go back and you can watch the Chiron part of the read if you haven't already. Life is on your side and bringing you through, out of the karma, out of the debt, out of the sacrifice, the bloodshed, the mirroring, the projection, the rejection, the condemnation, the blame, the belittling, the scapegoating, okay? Taking you up, not into some ivory tower, but to the promised land, bringing you up. And what's beautiful is as it's spiraling up, it's also spiraling down. It's the full on connection. It's like you're being birthed Well, through the cervix of life. Okay. Not the circle of life, the cervix of life, the spiral. The spiral of life. Okay. So with that, let's get a couple of cards for you. At the bottom, we see the circle. They're the circle. But they're saying we don't see dimensionally. They want us to see with new eyes, full dimension. Stand still. Stand still. Well, I hear that reward is coming. No longer are they chasing you down to punish you and imprison you and use you and scapegoat you. They're chasing you down to clear your name. To clear your name. To restore your fame, meaning your reputation, your notoriety. That no longer will you be known for those things. No longer is that energy drawing to you anymore. We're bringing the snip. We're bringing the snip and we're clearing it out. So we're clearing out all that old scapegoating, gaslighting, whatever all those terms are, where one is left high and dry and the other one gets away with the goods, okay? So we're clearing that off of you right now, Libra. And we're bringing in your true strength, the true love, the loyal love, the loyal friendships, the birds of a feather, the fur friends, the whole thing. Yes, you're hearing me clearly. Clearing the ears of Libra, clearing the scales of receptivity, clearing the kidneys and restoring them, clearing out the old gene and bringing in the new, bringing in the balance, bringing in the true, bringing in the love and the life and the joyous laughter, bringing in the restoration of the happily ever after, bringing in the miracles of heaven on earth. Open your treasures and spill them forth. Bless the heads of our dear friends of Libra. Restore their hands, their heart, and all that is within and without. Clearing their name, clearing their fame. Bless your heart, loved one. I bless your name. I bless your name. Some of you, music plays a vital role, doesn't it? I appreciate you. These are the words saying stop and take it here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your gentleness. Thank you for your intention. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your surviving. And I want to by faith say thank you for your thriving. Come forward into being good to yourself, from yourself to yourself. Shift your state when things feel out of whack or wherever. Put yourself in a better state. Not one that you have to pay for later, okay? One that is the breath that goes into your body. One that is the beauty of who you are. Moving into a room or out of a room or away from condescension or conviction or those type of things. Walk away from it. Keep moving down the yellow brick road. Keep moving on to the farther path. So for you, you might listen to Leo as well. Let's see what else is going on here. The giveaway. Get ready for some inheritance. Just as you were so blamed, so also are you so richly blessed. But they need truth to exchange the blame for the blessing. The lies, the accusation for the truth. Okay? Exchange it and you're like, gladly, I'll get rid of it. Gladly, I'll get rid of it. Gladly, I'll get rid of it. Just offer it up. Offer it up. Offer yourself up. That is your heart, all that you have endured. And that brings in the gather and the time master. Okay. So earth and energies, the rewards of Saturn coming on in. To those who have endured and who have lived through the systems of Saturn, there is great reward. There is great reward and honor for you, Libra. I could give you a bunch of cards to try and tell you this and that. They just simply want you to know, let that love in. There is great honor. There is great reward for you. Okay? Exchange the blame for the blessing, not the people, the places, or things. Just shed that, let it all go like the chaff going off the wheat. But you take what burden, blame is when somebody else says, you are responsible for this. Take all that responsibility, that whole big like gumball, and hand it up to life itself. Give it, offer it up to love. Offer it up to love. And watch the beauty of life pour in. It's going to come in physical, earthly abundance, abounding on you, crowning upon your head. You are the master of all the planets. Okay. Well, I'm excited about that. Hey, if you're still here, I'm glad you're here. You can check out all of these. All right. Now, this is for the whole month of November. Remember, take your courage and let love on you. They're ready to give it to you. And a lot of it is very physical and material, wealth, manifestation, opportunities, relationships, those sort of things. All right. Remember, you can click the description box and it will let you have the timestamps there if you want to navigate around for whatever reason. Also know that I love you, and you can click the like button and help us rise to the top. Stop back by and check out any of the videos. Okay. They're all here for you to avail yourself to walk through with your spirit and your guides. Until next time, know I love you. Bye, friend.